Okay, what we've got a hole in my radiator. Now that I fixed my axles, took it for a drive the other day and all of that's working good. But got it back home and noticed there was some fluid on the ground, so crawled underneath and there's a pinhole in the bottom of the radiator. So what we're going to do today is take the radiator out, see if we can fix that hole. If I waited till tomorrow, I've got a guy that I could probably take it to and have him braze it, but I'm gonna see if I can fix it here without that. So let's get started. Alright, we need something to catch fluid in. It's got to drain the radiator, so got a tub underneath there. Looks like it'll catch. Hose there, get the bottom hose off. Alright, got that all drained. Now we got to take the fan off. I believe that's a 1/2 inch bolt on there. That might be a little tricky. I'm glad they invented gear wrenches. It makes things a lot easier on these things. Stuff like this. Something I'd like to do to this, my spacer right there on my fan, I'd like to have that cut down about a 1/2 inch, maybe 3/4. So over here on the driver's side with this body lift on this Jeep, that fan gets into the radiator hose down here. When it's articulated at certain angles, and wound up having to replace my hose this spring because the fan nicked it, put a hole in it. That might be something I can see if I can have somebody do. Buy a new block or mill that one down or something. But for now, if we can get the hole in the radiator fixed, that'd be the first thing. Get it to where I can drive it. I swear these things are worse than a Harley or a boat. Seems like every time I turn the key on, I got something else I gotta fix on it. But I guess that's the part of having older stuff and being able to enjoy some of these kind of things. And I'm missing a bolt in here too. Should be 4 and there's only 3. This is definitely one of them what you'd call a project vehicle. There's always something to do to it, even if it's, everything's running good and everything's all good. There's plenty of other little things that could be done to it. Okay, so that's got a center. And that's got that. We do have a local hardware store that I can run down, get a few bolts for the one that's missing. Right now it looks like got 4 bolts in here. Hopefully they not a backup nut on, or nut on the back of this thing, and I got to back up because I don't know how I'd get in there. Oh yeah, it has a nut on it. Oh, this might be interesting. This one. Yeah, that's well, there's another idea. Take these parking lights out. I'll bet I can get a straight shot on that bolt. Oh yeah, perfect shot. Back up with a box in if everybody can see it. Nope, goes right on. So I'll tell you, I've never taken this radiator off. Don't know how it's, the best way to do it or any of that kind of stuff. And kind of my theory on this is, just hurry into it. You'll figure it out. Take things apart and put them back together. That's how you learn. I knew that there had to be an easy way to back up that bolt in there. Got to looking at it. Those little parking light blinker indicator lights are just about in line with where that nut bolt was. So I just thought, well, let's see if I can see behind there. If I take that out, maybe I can get to it. And sure enough, worked like a charm. One thing for sure that I would have anybody that's doing mechanical work and stuff like that, get one of these little magnetic trays. Things are great for keeping track of all your nuts and bolts and screws and stuff like that. I worked a long time without one. Now when I finally got that thing, started using it, surprising how nice it is to have one. Drop my wrench. There we go. Got them on there. There we go. I like these older vehicles. Everything's real simple and pretty self-explanatory. That doesn't want to come out. Probably have to loosen this other one up real quick. It's up behind the headlight. I'll see if I can get to it without taking the headlight out. There we go. On it now. That's pretty simple. The only tools I needed is flathead screwdriver for the hose clamps and a 1/2 inch wrench. Or a couple 1/2 inch wrenches, I guess. There's that. And just like that. Got her out. So, got her out and you can see right there, it's all wet. And I'll get a brush and emery cloth or something, clean that up, see if we can find the hole, and then figure out how to clean it up. So we'll be back in a minute. Okay, well, I got it all cleaned up. Basically just used the wire brush on a drill to shine it all up. One thing I'll tell you I like about this older stuff, that's a brass base on that radiator. Beats the heck out of all this new plastic crap on radiators nowadays that you can't do anything with. So anyway, we're just going to fill up, put enough water in here to get it up to where we can see where the leak's at. Looks like it had a leak before somebody's JB welded it, so hopefully that'll work for us. Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to find the leak without this being under pressure, because I know it's just a pinhole. Well, I pulled it in here the other day and noticed the leak. Oh wow. Well, that's no good. Might have to clean that up a little bit too. Thought that was JB weld, but it looks like somebody used some solder on that, which is good too. That's a solder job there. Well, I don't see any leak anywhere where it should be. I may have to put some pressure on it. Well, let's see what I can come up with to get some pressure inside the radiator here. See if we can figure out where the hole's at. Be back in a minute. Alright, well, I think I've got something figured out that maybe we can plug this up and get some pressure put in here. Actually looks like it might need a little more water in there. That's plenty. So what I got, the old hose that came off of the radiator that had a hole in it, I just cut it into pieces. I've got this nipple here. I've got this 1-inch pipe with a couple caps on it. Now what this is actually is what I keep all my chainsaw files and raker files and stuff in my toolbox. Keeps them from getting banged up, all my good files and stuff. So anyway, these caps will fit inside of this hose. Like so. So what I'm going to do, I'll put these hoses on, clamp them on, put the caps in, and clamp them, and maybe we can get it to seal good enough. Then we can put some air to it and get some pressure built up in there and find out where this leak is. I went to town, I was going to find a couple of test plugs or something for plumbing that would fit over these and plug them off, and our local store that we have here didn't have any, so gotta improvise. Nothing new around here, that's for sure. Get that one really tight, just in case. So what I'm going to try for building pressure, I got my compressor here, is go through my overflow hose and just see if I can push some pressure through here. I'll probably wind up blowing the hose off or something, but we'll give it a shot, see what happens. All I got to do is get enough pressure that I can see that leak, and then we'll be good. So that should almost fit inside there. So. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought might happen. But I did get a drop of water, like a tiny drop of water, where this leak's at. Let me show you real quick. Come in here. Let's see. Right there. So there is a pinhole right there. So it worked. Got a little wet, but hey, it's for this country, it's hot right now, so it feels good to get a little moisture. I'm trying to keep my background kind of clean with this camera because my shop is a disaster area. So if you catch a glimpse of something in the background that's a little unorganized, I apologize. Well, anyway, now we know where the hole's at. We can drain the radiator and see if we can solder up that hole. Yeah, that held quite a bit of pressure in there. It's spraying out pretty good. So that hole is, you know what? I think I'm going to take a file. What did I do with it? Take the file, it'll probably work. I'm just going to make that hole just a little bit bigger with the file. For one, that'll mark it a little better. And also it'll give it a chance to take solder a little better too. All right. Definitely held some pressure in there. That's actually pretty cool. That worked pretty well. put my file holder back together and put it back in my toolbox. Otherwise I'll leave it here, and then next time I go to the mountains to cut firewood, I won't have it. Which most of the time I don't need it if I can keep my chain out of the ground, and I don't usually have to mess with my rakers while I'm up there. And I got some files in my box that actually are on handles, so usually try to keep a good file handy that's already on a handle. Anyway, let me drain this radiator, get her prepped. I'll be right back. Alright, so there's our crack. It actually is more of a crack than a hole. I filed it out a little bit with my little file here. Clean this area up really well. It actually turned into a pretty good hole. That was very, very thin right there. Alright, let's see what I got for solder. Alright, found my solder. And I'm going to treat this like I would plumbing. And smear a little flux on here. Kind of clean it up while we're soldering it in. I could probably JB weld this too, but I think solder's a little better, a little more durable. I don't know, we'll find out. It might not work. We'll give it a shot and see. Well, it looks like the solder's staying in the crack, but it doesn't want to seem to be bonding to this outside worth of crap. Chances are it's either the wrong kind of solder, or it could be a lot of different things. Let's see if I... help or not, but we'll give it a shot. See if it'll make it stick any better if it's roughed up. Sucked into the crack really well. It might be a JB Weld job after all, I don't know. Yeah, that solder just isn't sticking, so a couple things, I could be using the wrong kind of solder. Well, we're starting to get a little bit of bondage there. Maybe. No, it's just coming off. Alright. Plan B. And then if plan B doesn't work, we'll go to plan C. I'll go find a professional that somebody with a cutting torch and some brazing rod that can braze this in. That's going to be one of my next things that I get eventually is a set of bottles. I've got a torch. I've never owned a set of bottles, and it's something that'd be really handy to have. So anyway, we'll let that cool down for a minute, and then we'll try some JB Weld on it and clean it all up again and go from there.